My name is Ville from a band called Him, and I have this odd thingy going on here. I've never done this before, so hopefully I don't mess it up royally. So you send me a bunch of questions. I haven't seen them before. I don't know what they're going to be all about, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. So here we go. So Derek is asking me, do you think your understanding of love has changed since Screamworks' previous album, and has it manifested itself on Tears and Tape? I think love keeps on changing every day, more or less. It's not black and white, and it's definitely more than 50 Shades of Grey, if you read that erotic novel, close to 666. So my interpretation of love in general keeps on changing with each and every song, each and every day, each and every passing moment, and with every breath I take. So that's it for you, Derek. All right, the next one being from Philippe. First, thank you oh Lord. First, thank you for so many years of badass music. Now, if you could time travel and talk to the younger you, what would you tell them? It's actually a question I've been asked before, and I'd say to my younger self, I actually wouldn't say anything to my younger self. I'd be the peeping Tom. I'd be laughing at myself at the patio of Rainbow Bar and Girl, and laugh at the fact how badly I was behaving. But I think that you have to behave badly to be understanding, to be kind of like getting on to the next level, which is this other level, being outside here at the Palladium in Hollywood. So, no, I was fairly happy, I think, and messed up when I was younger, so no, I wouldn't tell myself anything. No. Maybe buy me a beer. That'd be cool. All right, Josh Holmes is asking, what are your favorite albums of all time? Regarding this band, Him, I think it's the first 7 Black Sabbath albums, Bloody Kisses by Typo Negative, some early Paradise Lost stuff from a band called Anathema from Liverpool, a band called My Dying Bride, band from Cathedral, band called Electric Wizard, Monster Magnet, and everything in between. That's kind of like the rock stuff. Danzig and all the satanic church burning Norwegian stuff, that's what we like. It keeps us warm during the cold winters in Scandinavia. Nothing to do with religion whatsoever. All right. Connell is asking, how do you sustain yourselves mentally on long tours? At the end of the day, we kind of don't. I think the worst thing on touring, or the toughest thing, is to try to get proper amounts of rest. I'm really bad when it comes to sleeping on the tour bus, and no pills can help it. So the best thing is just to decorate the bus as much as possible with Halloween regalia, whatever, all sorts of odd gear, and make it your own little wonderland of craziness and insanity. And I think with the sense of humor and the fact that we as a band have known each other, the members of the band, we grew up together, that makes everything way easier than, as opposed to being in a band which would have 5 egomaniacs. So in this case, we only have one. All right, Marsha is asking, you guys have been working together for so long now, there must have been some moments you didn't share the same opinion or thoughts about a new song or an album. How do you deal with that? Well, I usually deal with that, making the last call when it comes to the artistic side of things, more or less. But then again, we know each other really well, and we've been playing in different bands beforehand. So I used to be a bass player, so I used to hang out with Miggy, and we used to slap the hell out and try to be all funky and flea back in the day. But we've gone through so many things that I don't think there's ever been anything music related that we're not able to deal with words. Everything else, we're having a bro down every other day, so it's going to be us topless and beating the hell out of each other. But that's only the name of good fun. Nina Ann is asking, will you ever consider to make a song with Finnish lyrics? I performed some stuff in Finnish back in the day. Did some traditional Finnish folk songs and stuff for TV and radios back in Finland, but it's a tough language. It's singing, and then there's only there's only very limited amount of people who would understand what I'd be singing about. So I think it's so rare to have a band like, let's say, Rammstein, who are able to do their stuff in German and still translate somehow the vibe globally. So I think we're gonna just stick to English, because that is the language of rock and roll at the end of the day. Danielle Culp In New Orleans, Ville fell in love with a painting that graced the cover of Venus Dune. What kind of art does he like? Are there other visual artists or art movements that inspire him's music? Yeah, like, you know, I think visuality in general is interesting. You know, symbolism and symbols, and from, you know, religious stuff to artistic stuff. It doesn't really matter. I think that everybody's visual, more or less. And so whether it be about watching Dexter on TV or going into a museum, just keeping your ears and your eyes open, I think that that's very important, no matter what you do. You know, see new colors and new shades and new interpretations of life in general. I think that that's interesting, as opposed to having just one HR Giga. I love his alien stuff, and that's all. So I try to, you know, get into all sorts of art, you know, whether it be visual, musical, whatever. So it all inspires everything around us. Philemon is asking, does Ville have any book recommendations for us avid readers around the world searching for inspiration? There's a book that just came out called Straight White Male by John Niven. He's a guy who wrote Purely Friends. I still haven't actually read the book, but it's supposedly superb, so check it out. It's a really funny story about a fella, fictional character in the realm of, I think, screenwriting, and he's an author, and it's definitely not for under 18s. It's super funny, super gross, and ridiculously nihilistic. At least, you know, that's what I've heard about it. So I can't wait to get back home and start reading it. Now I'll be just reading. I did Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. I loved Hellraiser, old films, but I never actually read that novella. So I just got through that, and then there's who was that guy? What was the guy's name? A horror book called Breed that came out maybe 6 months ago, and that's great. It's one of the best horror things. Some reason I'm on this horror trip at the moment. I want to make myself scared. Probably the reason because I don't sleep in the bus, you know, at the end of the day, but can't have it all. Greetings from Brazil. My question is, what inspired you to write Gone with the Sin? I absolutely love this song. And a smiley face. This fairly personal. I was in a relationship, and let's say both of the participants weren't doing that well and had trouble and were struggling to get through, you know, everyday life in general. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I think that at the end of the day, good music should hopefully get the imagination running. So it's nice when you can have your own interpretation, as opposed to me just telling exactly what, who, when, and what for, and whatnot. So. Princess Stella is asking, have you ever thought, I wish I wrote that song? If so, which one? Yeah, that song would be Happy Birthday to You. I think that would have been awesome. And then the royalties out of that song would have made me, you know, not too stressed about what kind of bread is on my table and what kind of roof is on top of my head. But as far as I've understood, Michael Jackson did own the rights for it, so maybe I can haggle. We'll see what happens. Wish us luck. Merv Hellscream is asking, if you weren't musicians, who or what would you be? Well, my dad owns a sex shop in Helsinki, and I used to work there before this band, so I'd probably be selling dildos for a living. It'd be the Valo thingy, you know, because, you know, he's still doing it. He enjoys it, and there's a lot of him fans that when they travel to Helsinki, they go there and get my dad's t-shirts and stuff, and occasional, you know, lube, and you know, the stuff you need for love. So I'm sure that'd be working in that business more or less. Sabrina is asking, how annoying is it for you at the concerts when you see so many people just holding up their cameras instead of enjoying the concert? Well, that's a good question. It is odd when people, you know, spend money and then they kind of like watch the gig through an iPhone camera. But then at the end of the day, I think it's way better than seeing people yawning in the first row, because that's happened too, and you know how contagious yawning can be. So it's the worst when you start yawning on stage too, and it becomes this big yawn fest. So no, I don't mind, you know, and it's at the end of the day, I think it's safer than the lighters, like back in the day. Eloina K. Ville, with age you look better and better. How do you keep fit? I don't. Cigarettes kill the need to eat. Well, I do love old oils, non-alcoholic beer, so that helps out with the you know, my head doesn't look like a balloon as much as it used to, but no, at the end, how do I keep fit? And I'm vegetarian, so maybe that helps, but I think more or less the question is about pictures that were heavily photoshopped, so thank you. Carrie is asking, what's the biggest milestone in your musical career? Well, let's say, you know, to be honest with you, I think being here tonight, because, you know, every day brings new challenges and then at the same time, when we got the band together and got our first demo done back in '94 or something like that, that was pretty amazing actually, to hear this band playing and have a C cassette and giving that to your friends and asking a bit of money, like $2 for each cassette or whatever. That's probably the reason, $2, that I still have most of the cassettes back home. But yeah, it's a constant journey, and it's challenging every day, and it should be. I don't think that there was one super big watershed moment for the whole band that would have changed everything entirely. It's been happening, these little baby steps towards here, I guess. All right. No, we're done. Surprisingly enough, that was surprisingly quick. So thank you very much for for the questions. That's can I keep this? Okay, I'll show it to the rest of the guys. We're gonna be laughing our way to the next city, definitely. So yeah, thanks for watching and listening, and be good, all of you dear people. So till next time, you know, ta-ta.